There were a lot of points, at least. Good thing. I don't know if there were any major injuries for Cowboys Falcons, right? I don't remember any. So that's good. And they scored a combined 79 points in the game. Cowboys came back and won 40-39. Dak Prescott, 450 yards. You got CeeDee Lamb that went off. You got Dalton Schultz in the mix here. He had 88 yards on 9 catches. So where do you want to start with the Cowboys offense? I mean, it wasn't like they couldn't, put up a bunch of points and a bunch of
Cowboys
yards last
first
year.
Yeah.
You want to do Cowboys first?
Yeah, whatever. You run the show. That's cool. Let's do it.
Let's do Cowboys and what you saw from them and what may have been different outside of the fact that they did get to play the Atlanta Falcons, which seems to be a pretty good thing if you're an offense.
Well, yeah, let's start with the first thing you said where you asked about the injuries. There was one, and it was a big one. The guy that caused all the havoc to get Atlanta the lead, and I'm not going to be able to say his name right, Foyesade Oluokun.
Okay.
Number 54, middle linebacker, and sorry to him, I will practice that. But he got hurt somewhere after he caused his last turnover, and I don't know the exact play, but then he was out of the game. So there was one guy that was causing some havoc for the Falcons, and certainly was a big reason why they had a 20-0 lead. All right, so, we start out right away. Of course, hey, the Cowboys, they started out crappy. Dak Prescott, strip sack fumble. He was getting ready to try to shovel past the ball as he was getting sacked, and then an arm got hit. Zeke Elliott had fumbled twice. The first time he fumbled, they were lucky that they recovered the ball. Then later on the drive, he fumbled again, and then there was that. All right, so
Schultz fumbled 11
Schultz
minutes in,
fumbles
three.
Right, yeah, really could have had 5. No joke. I believe there was a dropped interception. Like I said, it might have been the Pollard who fumbled early on, and they recovered it back. But nonetheless, listen, the Cowboy offensive line, the Cowboy offense, it's talented. There's no doubt about that. Is the offensive line as dominating as years past? No, they're not. They have replacement tackles in right now. That's a little issue too. So, strip sack, fumble, things like that. But here's the first thing that we got to talk about. The Falcons defense sucks, okay? There's just no other way to say it. I don't know what else to tell you, but it's never good when you can't rush the passer as a front four. Okay, and then what do you do if you can't get to the quarterback as a front four? We go, well, let's start blitzing to get there. Well, when you can't play man-to-man coverage in the back end either, it's not good blitzing either. So what do? I don't know. They only have one guy that they can rely on to cover somebody man-to-man. Everybody else is a liability, and that's the rookie A.J. Terrell. After that, it's a mismatch, and that's where I worry about it. Listen, Atlanta never stopped the Cowboys all day long. At no point. It was never like, oh, wow, they got their number. Early on, they brought a few blitzes, which I think something that Atlanta's going to have to look to dabble into as they go forward, because they're just going to die a lot of slow deaths or just get torched in general if they're just not aggressive. I would almost want to say to Atlanta, wait, you got $90 million on offense. You can't die slow. It's like the same conversation we've had before. You can't die that slow death. You got to have Julio and Calvin Ridley on the field. You can't do it. You can't play that way. But, yeah, they're in trouble. There's not great depth on the football team there.
Because we saw the score was 29-10 at half.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't too long into the second half where it was a game again.
It was 29-24.
It's just like that.
Right. Yeah, the first drive of the second half, they went right down and scored. They got a 3-and-out. They went right down and scored again. And then Atlanta got the ball back, and we went from there. We'll hit Atlanta's offense in a minute. But, early on, it was just Atlanta, I think, threw a few different looks at the Dallas Cowboys, caused a little chaos there, and kind of was winning the battle. But as the game went on, you don't really hear from anybody in the Atlanta front seven for the rest of the game. Grady Jarrett's the only guy you really got to worry about. They got a feel for him to where he'd stop disrupting the games and everything. But they have issues altogether. And, too predictable and easy zone coverages and everything like that, let alone Dallas. They just got talent at offense. I don't know another way to say it. It's a pretty good offensive scheme. They're pretty aggressive in what they want to do throwing the football. And
they were aggressive, but I'll give them credit. When they were down big early on,
right,
they did have a lot of quarterback play action.
They didn't just abandon it.
It wasn't like they got out of their game plan.
No, you're exactly right. And I think they were probably worried about, hey, man, our defense had to go on the field so many times early on in the game because of the turnovers. Let's worry about, we got to chew up some clock just to rest them and do those things. But they did. They continued to stay balanced. But to me, more the story of anything was how bad the Falcons' defense is. I don't know any other way to say that. I'm not going to be able to sit here and tell you, Dallas did this when they were down 20-0, and this is what changed their offense output. No, Dallas was moving the ball before that and going to. They just made mistakes. But
they fumbled 3 times early.
Yes.
They missed a couple fake punts that blew up on them.
Exactly right. So they missed a fake punt early, too.
Yeah.
And
10 minutes in.
That's where, we'll get into this. And I don't even know if I want to flip over to say that yet.
Hold on.
Yeah, I won't.
Pump the brakes.
Okay. I won't say anything.
File that away.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know what you were going to say. We might have filed it away.
But it's all right. I don't know if there's anything more groundbreaking for me to say about Dallas. I really don't. Lamb, Cooper, Gallup are going to give teams issues. Okay, their offense is good enough that when a team like Atlanta, who's just going to play basic Tampa 2 and basic zone coverages, and then you don't have a pass rush, the good offense is going to pick that apart all day long. And that's what they did. They called the right plays into the right zone coverages and things like that. And then Prescott made some big throws down the field without ever really forcing it either. Even though they were down, there was always people open to where he never was forced into man, it's been 3 or 4 plays. We can't get anything going. I might have to jam one into tight coverage. Yeah. No. So it allowed them to stay patient with the run, to what you're saying. It also allowed them to all right, hey, I'll throw the ball 6 yards underneath to CeeDee Lamb. And now he'll run for 30. And they just exposed them. They're just so much more talented than the Atlanta defense. The Atlanta defense is, come on. If I can come out of retirement right now, I want to play Atlanta. You can't rush the passer and you can't cover.
Yeah.
You see what Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott did to them, and there's that wasn't by luck.
It could be a long year for them. I want to give credit to Greg Zuerlein as well. The slow motion onside.
It's amazing.
Kick. I feel like kickers are I was thinking about this. They're like the mom of the NFL. It's like we take them for granted. I wish we would stop doing that, right?
I know.
Because they're so crucial.
Yes,
right?
they are.
You only notice them. It's like mom. You don't notice them when mom picks you up from practice, cooks you that meal. You notice when she misses you from doesn't pick you up from practice.
Right.
When she
didn't make your lunch for school. You're like, what the mom?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right. You've been awesome for 999,000 things.
Take that for granted.
Why did you mess up that one thing? Yeah.
They're the moms of the NFL.
They are.
We got to change that because they put Mike McCarthy, and I hate when coaches do this. It was like they got into field goal range and settled for a 46-yarder to win the game at the end there. I hate that.
Yeah, it's risky.
At that point, you've done all this to come back in the game, and now we're just going to kneel on it and run Zeke up the middle, and it's like we don't want to make it a 30-yard field goal.
Yeah, I hear
you.
We're
just going to settle for a 46-yard field goal.
Yeah, I know.
Greg bailed him out.
It's scary. Zuerlein, and to your point, is a weapon. He really is.
Yeah.
And he's been a weapon for the Rams for the last 2 years. The Rams are like Kansas City Chiefs with Butker, like what's-his-face in Baltimore.
Tucker.
Tucker, right,
Yeah.
Justin Tucker. Damn, I couldn't remember his name. The Longhorn,
they're the moms of the NFL. We don't even remember them.
But they're weapon. You can cross midfield and go, we're almost in field goal range.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is a great safety net to have as an offense and a great thing to have, especially at the end of the game. Zuerlein, we shouldn't be surprised that him and John Fossil came up with the new onside kick. They've been inventing shit on special teams for the last 5 years. John Fossil, without a doubt, is the most creative special teams coach in football. It's not even close. So that was cool to see.
So real quick, you want to flip it over?
Yeah, but nonetheless, can't rush the passer.
No.
Nobody can play to man-to-man. Number 26, Isaiah Oliver, when they do play man-to-man, everybody goes after him because he can't run. Dante Fowler, not all that impressive. There's means on the other edge. They can't get edge pass rush pressure. Takaris McKinley not doing anything. So when you look at the front seven, you go, okay, Grady Jarrett, all right, you stop him, you're going to stop Atlanta. And then you got Deion Jones. Ken O'Neal's not himself yet. He's not back from to 100%. So really average, really concerning. And it's like I said, I think they got to readjust how they're playing. Yeah. I don't think they can think they need to just open it up and go shootout time.
They just need to outscore their opponent.
That's all there is to it. That's all they did. That's right. They almost did. And let's flip over to the other side of the ball. And the first thing I would say there, right off the bat, was they should have scored more. You had five short fields, 5 of them. You came away with 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals. You have that offense, and you had to settle for that game should have been 24-0, 28-0, not 20-0. I mean, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones are 50-something million just between those two.
Julio's not right. He was all beat up.
No, he's not right. He's definitely not right. I agree with you there. It's not there. But, okay, here we go. First thing, real quick. Cowboy, oops, I'm on the wrong one. Okay. I'm on the other side of the ball.
You filled up your notebook.
I did.
You've really filled up. You've almost gone through half of it already.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting there. Okay. But here we go. So, first thing off, just right off the bat, Cowboys defense, it's not that impressive looking either. All right? They have a little bit of the same issues Atlanta does, just to a lesser extent. Can they rush the passer? I question that through 2 weeks right now. And can they play man-to-man? I don't know if they can either. I'm dead serious. Other than Chidobe Awuzie, I'm not sure they can do it consistently either. There's too many guys that get beat like that. But, so there's that. Now, the biggest thing to me in this, and more than anything, is the Falcons' run game is just so basic. They have no run game to rely on to run a clock out or do anything like that. Let alone Todd Gurley. Hey, he's just a middle-of-the-road back. I mean, very middle of the road.
They tried. They gave it to him 21 times.
I know.
He gained 61 yards.
No, I know.
The longest was 8.
And I think the biggest thing to me is a lack of creativity in the run game. It's very much the same type of run over and over. It's inside and outside zone. There's nothing added to it to make a defense think or pause for a second or, oh, wait, here's pulling guards here. This is different, whatever that is. So that bothers me. And, of course, that's going to make it hard to close out games. When you can't run the football, then, yeah, you're going to have issues. And with Gurley himself, one, physically, is he not right? Yeah, he's not the same explosive Todd Gurley. 2, there's hesitation in his game. There's hesitation. And I think it is because of the knee. I think he's trying to save himself. Are there a few plays where I looked at it and I said, man, old Todd Gurley would have just stepped on the pedal to the metal, and he would have flown through there and just said, okay, if I get crushed, I get crushed, but I might come out the other side for a 70-yard touchdown. Yeah. Now it's kind of like, ooh, I'm going to get crushed, and I'm just going to kind of pitter-patter through there instead of just going with, like, reckless abandon. So that bothers me. It's something to look for. But leaving the points on the board and only getting 20, that was big. Those were big holds by the Cowboys. The Cowboys defense in general, all right, here's the things. I told you the things I don't like. The things I do like is they're very multiple, all right? Nolan's running a lot of different defenses, simple different defenses, though. Okay. Just Tampa 2, cover 2, cover 3, man-to-man. But not letting an offensive play caller ever just go, oh, they're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this. I got plays to kill this, kill that. He keeps you on edge that way. So they're sound. They don't blow assignments. But at the same point, there's going to come a time where they got to get pressure on a quarterback, and I think they're going to have to blitz, and it could be scary for them that way. All right, so that's the biggest thing. Now, the other thing after that, the Atlanta offense, did they have chances to close this game out? Of course they did. The Wildcat throw, the gauge that Julio Jones drops, that was a huge play. I question there, Mike Nolan, who was in Atlanta at one point, and I believe Raheem Morris was there with him when they were there together. They had a little crossover. I wonder if Raheem Morris told the Atlanta offensive coaches what Mike Nolan's adjustment would be to Wildcat. Because to have that play called right there and the adjustment they got and the look, I mean, it was just so perfect. And those are just things that popped through my head. But I think that's the biggest thing. If they catch that ball, that game's probably over. Yeah. And that, of course, let the Cowboys hang around. And they couldn't stop the Cowboys offense. That's all there is.
It sounds like you think both of these teams will be in games like this multiple times this year. You think Atlanta's going to be in shootouts? You think the Cowboys could be in shootouts?
I do. I think so. Yeah, I'm a little, like I said, I'm way less concerned about the Cowboys, but I don't think this is a defense that we've seen the last few years in the Cowboys where, not necessarily last year, but the year before that when they were a playoff team where they could dominate. Yeah. I don't know who that is. It's different defensive tackles. The pass rush is not the same. DeMarcus Lawrence is not the same. Vander Esch is not out there. Yeah. Right? The safeties are different. They lost Byron Jones. So it's certainly a much less impressive physical group.
Yeah. See if there's anything else here.
Teams are attacking 27 digs.
So real quick here. You put this in here, and this is a good idea. The totem pole of shame as we wrap this game up. Order of people who are to blame for Atlanta's collapse here. You got the defense, You got the hands team. You got Julio with that drop TD pass, and you got Dan Quinn, who went for 2 early on, didn't get it, which proved to be an important point.
Yeah.
And another collapse here. What's the totem pole of shame for the Falcons?
Well, I think you go defense and then Dan Quinn.
Right at the top.
Right at the top.
Pole.
Yeah, because defense and Dan Quinn are almost related anyways. And then, you talk about this.
Dan Quinn's head at the top of the totem?
Well, yeah, you're right.
The head up there.
You are right. And then you talk about the special teams and things like that. That goes back to Dan Quinn, too.
Okay.
So
Dan Quinn at the top of the totem pole.
Dan Quinn at the top of the totem pole, followed by that defense.
Yep.
Followed by
hands team. They come up with it. Game over.
Yeah, I almost want to go Julio first because I don't know if you have to worry about the hands team if Julio catches that ball, right? So,
all right.
yeah.
Julio,
then the bottom, the hands team.
You got just hands in the bottom.
All of it's bad, though. I'll just say, all of it. I mean, yes, I'm so sick of the going for 2 thing. I talked about it Monday, and I can't take it anymore.
They may make an appearance in my Trevor top pick power rankings, the Atlanta Falcons. I'm just saying that. A little preview right there.
All right.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.